don't know if Austin's necessarily losing its weirdness or if it's just that it's kind of going more underground, you know. I think Austin's always going to have that aspect to it, you know, but we're doing our best to try to keep the real weird of Austin, the real weird I'm talking, alive. In the beginning, it was a little small attraction, a little roadside attraction. We had just a few exhibits like a Fiji mermaid, some shrunken heads, an Egyptian mummy, and some Bigfoot exhibits. And over time, it's kind of grown and grown because people now, you know about the museum, and they bring stuff into me, and they say, hey, look, you know, I've got like a two-headed pig in a jar. Do you want to buy this? Or you know, whatever it is that they've got, they bring it in and they say, ask if I want to buy it or put it on display here. So it's slowly the collection has accumulated and grown over time. The museum started in 2005 when me and my wife opened a little gift shop here on 6th Street called Lucky Lizard Curios and Gifts. And a lot of the exhibits that were eventually ended up in the museum used to be for sale in the floor of the gift shop. You know, we used to have, my wife was always like, you know, we need to sell things like jewelry and t-shirts and things that people would actually buy. And I was like, yeah, but wouldn't it be cool to have like a shrunken head or a Fiji mermaid on the shelves, you know, right next to it?
I just like a lot of stuff about this place. There's a box in the first room you go into, and it had this mummy in it. It was super tiny. It was interesting. Sometimes I'll go with my dad if we can, if like there's nothing to do. It's fun coming here.
When people come to the museum, they can expect to see some of the most unusual and strange oddities they've ever seen in their lives. Things like real shrunken heads, real mummies, Fiji mermaids, two-headed animals, stuff like that, where you know, just things that are amazing and unusual and not something you're ever going to see anywhere else. We have so many different exhibits in here. What one person might think is totally unique and strange, another person might think is something else. My personal favorite item in the museum is something called the Minnesota Iceman. When I was a little kid, this thing was traveling around the country, and it came to my little town in Pennsylvania, and I remember seeing it. It's one of my earliest childhood memories as a kid, was getting to see this thing called the Minnesota Iceman. And it probably set my path for life, because had it not been for me seeing that at such a young, impressionable age, I probably would have never opened the Museum of the Weird.
When you walk in, you never really know what is real entirely, and I love answering people's questions when they come back, just so they get that clarification. And just kind of goes to show like how much that place makes people wonder. It kind of takes them out of their reality for a bit. My favorite part is the unpredictability, honestly. I like a lot of variety. I like doing a lot of things. I like the situations that can kind of arise here, because you never know who's going to walk through the door, interesting circumstances that happen, and I'm here for it.
I think that's one thing that is our goal, you know, is to keep that sense, that almost like childlike sense of wonder and amazement alive in the world, and to, you know, make sure people, when they leave with that sense of, wow, what did I just see?